Let's give thanks for life and a mighty life giver. It's freezing snow in New York. Okay. It's raining down here a bit, but I mean it's nice and beautiful. Yeah. We coming in this evening, give thanks. Definitely, we're going to be discussing the whole aspect of cells and you know how it is nowadays with the whole huge incidence of cancer among our man and our woman. You know, it is a topic that we need to actually also take a time out to reason about. So we'll just reason about the whole aspect of the cell and what happens when a cell becomes mutated to the extent whereby it turns into a tumor. So we're going to go into this a bit today. So give thanks so you could tell your people that probably have any needs when it comes to that level of understanding to actually just come in and join us as we're going to be talking about the answer to cancer. Yes, Argentina, give thanks, brother one from Argentina. Yes, so those of you tonight who all blessings and peace to you as we're going to be going into the whole realms of understanding the significance of natural cell processes that your cells actually go through, and how it is that as a man, you could utilize these processes, to uplift yourself and understand how you could maintain that kind of lively activity when it comes to the natural functioning of your cells, or if it is that your cells are not functioning properly, even how it is to get them to actually function properly. Blessed love, Aisha Ogis, give thanks for joining us. Just tell us when you bless up and things, just tell us where you are contacting from. Detox and fertility, yes we do. Just go into the archives, you'll get most of it. It is there. Yes, Francis Witness, greetings, heart of love, give thanks. Aisha August from Viewfort, give thanks. Rastafari. We are going live in approximately 1 minute. Give thanks for all those of you who are here with us now. As we going live in a minute. Herbal manual is the best investment. We having a new edition worked on as we speak. It's going to be awesome. Blessings from Ushawa, Canada. Blessed love, honorable from Martinique. Give thanks, beloved. Verena 56, give thanks. Give thanks. We're going live in 1 minute. Yes, the archives on YouTube. Yeah, we have the archives on YouTube and also archives on Instagram. Also, greetings from Dominica. Oh yes, I'm sitting by, not standing. We're about to go live. Greetings, Honorable Jah, blessed. You're welcome. Is my sound coming out good, right? Alright, good, thanks. Yes, we do give thanks for life and a mighty life given, and we give thanks for all good things around us are sent from Zion above. So we praise for life for his divine love. As definitely as we are live with you on HTS, which is Helen Television System or Service, you know, and in St. Lucia, National Television in St. Lucia. This is our basically our second program for this year, 2022. And we find it very important and pressing even to address the topic that we are going to be addressing this evening, specifically on the whole realms of the, you know, as it is now in our trip, you know, one of the countries that we actually visited recently was Jamaica. And right now in Jamaica, you know, like prostate cancer is killing more people than COVID, you know, and this is why even within the Caribbean region and the wider world, you know, I find that it's a bit, not a bit, it's a lot. Like, I mean, 90% of it is like hypocrisy. The level of hypocrisy when it comes to the level of commitment, the level of attention, the level of investment, you know, when it comes to the whole aspect of tackling what you call non-communicable chronic illnesses. So in St. Lucia, you have many people still dying of diabetes or from diabetes-related health conditions like cardiac problems, like circulatory problems, like neuropathies, you know, and some people just die because their blood sugar levels just went too low and they went in a coma and they never get out. So it is very significant that we actually take note and understand that even in that whole realms of, as we are fighting the battles against the SARS-CoV-2 virus, you know, a lot of the victims of that are also the people who actually are suffering from non-communicable chronic illnesses like cancer, the people who are supposed to need their whatever modality of treatments that they're actually taking for their cancer, people with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, you know, all these different people there, these people there are being like just sidelined just because all the attention in the world is being placed specifically, right, when it comes to the realms of, all right, how is it then that we as a people going to resolve our specific problems when it comes to our overall healthcare? So what we are seeing is that as a people we don't really check about what's significant. So everything is about COVID. Yet still, you know, you have prostate cancer actually killing more people than COVID. You have heart attacks, heart disease killing a lot more people than COVID. Then you have diabetes-related conditions killing more people than COVID. So why is it then that we now cannot take that responsibility, that level of vigilance, that level of seriousness when it comes to an issue like, let's say, prostate cancer? You know, so now at least the same way that we have everyone washing their hands and everybody sanitizing and checking the temperature, then the same way then you could have everyone exercising, everyone eating the vegetables, their fresh fruits, their green juices, their herbal teas, you know, positive thoughts and positive meditation, create positive thinking places, you know, to relieve stress. So I think that what COVID has taught us, you know, even just repeating the word COVID, you know, if it is that you just say COVID, I mean, you know, just because you say COVID, the algorithm, you know, going to catch you and say that whatever. You know, but I'm saying it like COVID, right? So if it is that COVID-19, in fact, if it is that we rarely give 10% of the attention that was given to COVID-19 to prostate cancer or breast cancer or any of these cancers, I think that the world would have been in a much better place when it comes to non-communicable chronic illnesses. So this evening, what we are going to be looking at is the whole aspect of cancer. Okay, so we say, well, okay, Cancer, I mean, Jamaica specifically, the men are actually dying with prostate cancer. A lot of the men are falling sick with prostate cancer. So we say, what is cancer? How is it that one knows whether or not that they have cancer? How is it that one knows that they will survive or they won't survive? So at the end of the day, what is disease? To understand the whole aspect of disease, you must first and foremost have an understanding of what it is, that what are the right ways that the physical structure supposed to actually be functioning. So we're saying, okay, then what is cancer? What's a tumor? What does it mean if a tumor is malignant or a tumor is benign? Right? What does it mean that cancer have metastasized? Right? What does it mean first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage? Right? So at least then, when it is that one is actually faced with a medical decision, to have that level of understanding, to know what is their position, that they as a man or as a woman could decide, well, look, that is what I have to do to actually attempt to work towards actually saving myself and saving my life and preventing myself from suffering and getting sick. Now, the cell is the smallest, right, functional and structural unit of the physical structure, meaning that the cell is microscopic. It's measured in nanometers, or some of them in micrometers, but nanometers specifically. So the cell now is so small that it is what you refer to as a microscopic, meaning that you have to use a microscope to actually learn to visualize, to see that cell. Very important. Now, the cell performs particular functions, meaning that the cell can be a factory for the production of, let's say, insulin or saliva or hydrochloric acid or any type of chemical, any type of hormone, serotonin, okay, right. Any type of hormone that the physical structure is actually producing, testosterone, estrogen, any of these hormones, luteinizing hormone, any hormone that the physical structure is actually producing, these cells, these small, microscopic, you need a microscope to actually visualize them, has that capacity to perform specific functions. So a cell now is a microscopic structure, right, within your physical structure, as they'd say, your goodie, that has that fundamental responsibility to perform a very specific function. And that function is determined also by the structure of that cell. So for instance, you have cells of the palm of your hands. So they are very what you'd call keratinized. That means that they have a thick protein layer in my hand that enables the palm of my hands to be able to hold hot stuff, to be able to hold a cutlass and chop up a piece of wood and then it doesn't bruise. If I were to put the skin on the back of my hand, inside of my hand, I won't be able to use a cutlass. I won't be able to hold a rough stone and I'll get it bruised. So the structure of the cells within the palm of the hand is different to the structure of the cells on the back of the hands. So whereby this actually makes them suitable for specific functions based upon the structure that they have. Right? The same way the cells of your heart, being like cardiac cells, they actually are contracting continuously, are different than the cells of your biceps, right? Or the cells of your tongue, which is basically natural skeletal muscles that you could actually move, and they have very specific shapes, and the shapes now allow them to perform this specific function to a level of perfection. All right, so cells now are structural and they are also functional. They are the smallest structural and functional units of the human anatomy. They are microscopic. That means that you need a microscope to actually visualize them. All right, now a cell has a particular lifespan. So the cells on your back of your skin would have of your palm might have a particular lifespan of, let's say, 15 days. So every 15 days, I'm not saying every 15 days, this cell actually goes through this lifespan, dies, and another cell actually replaces that that cell. So the cells of your eye have a particular lifespan. So there is continual rejuvenation. The cells of your tongue has a particular lifespan as a skeletal muscle, right? The cells of your whatever aspect of your physical structure, these cells there have a particular life cycle, meaning that after a period they actually die, go through what you call natural cell death, and then you have other cells coming in to take that position of that exist or cell from before. Very important. So the process of natural cell death is what that is referred to as what you call apoptosis. Apoptosis, cell death. Ptosis, to split, to lysis, to be destroyed. So what we're talking about is apoptosis is the natural capacity of a cell to reach the length of its life and then naturally implode upon itself and destroy itself, and then the life actually continues because you have that same cell would have divided into 2 cells and 4 cells and 8 cells and 16 cells and 42 cells and 64 cells, because the cells divide. So you always have, as a cell, as it divides, it grows. So if it is that your cells of the back of your hand were in that continual state of division, right? So imagine that the cells of the back of your hand or the cells of your nose were continually dividing and making more and more and more and more and more cells. What would happen to your nose? That's a question. I mean, you can put a number on the screen for those people who actually want to call. I'm also going to put the number right here on our Instagram link. So the people who want to call live into studio in St. Lucia, I mean, definitely 4522693. Definitely you could call live in studio and answer that question. So I'm saying that, right? What would happen if it is that the cells of the back of your hands, right, then these cells there would continue to divide and get more and more and more? What would happen to the back of your hands? What would happen to your nose? What would happen to your fingers? Tell me. I'm waiting for an answer. I want to get that answer. You should give us a call. Let us know what would happen, or answer in the comments right here, right? What would happen if it is that the cells of the back of your hands just keep on dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing, and none of them was actually going to die? What would happen? Right? What would happen? I'm waiting for the answers, man. Come on, I mean, come on. I'm not gonna speak and tell you what's gonna happen. You know, you have to call or send a message on the Instagram. You just there in the comments and thing. You know, I mean, come on, you tell me. What would happen if it is that the cells of your nose, you know, remember we said that the cells just divide. So when you have one cell, it breaks down into 2 cells. So that's, you have 2 cells. Then 2 becomes 4, and 4 becomes 8, and 8 becomes 9, and then become, no, not 8 don't become 9. 8 becomes 16, and 16 becomes 42, and 42 becomes 64. And 64 becomes 128, and it goes on and on and on. All right. Then we have a Mama Earth healing juices, mass growth on the skin. Yes, you're right. Right? So what would happen is that, because if the cells don't die, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a massive growth on your skin. So your skin is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, or your nose is going to get bigger and bigger. You're going to be like Pinocchio. Like your nose is going to get so big, huge nose. So you could hold your nose from right here and you nose everything. You shift that nose here and you shift the nose here, just because the nose is just, the cells are continually dividing. So at the end of the day, what would happen is that you would have that excessive growth. That is what a cancer is, right? Cancer is when the natural process of cell death, where that cell actually naturally dies, has been interrupted through what you would refer to as a natural mutation, right? Or through exposure to an environmental intoxicant, that the natural process of cell death has been interrupted. Remember, we said that as your cell, as the cells of your skin, right, have a particular lifespan. So the cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of the human anatomy. Every cell have a particular structure, and that structure enables it to perform its functions in a matter of perfection. So your heart cells, they make the heart contract and relax perfectly because they are your heart cells. Your tongue cells, your biceps, whatever cell have a particular structure to allow it to perform to the maximum. So we're saying that every cell goes through a process of what you call cell division. In science, it is known as the process of mitosis. Mitosis is a process whereby the cell literally replicates itself. So if it is that you're talking about the cell of your eyes or the cell of your skin, that cell is going to create an exact duplicate of its own self. So this one cell going to become two cells, an exact duplicate, right? So it's not like you're going to have a difference like, okay, you have two children, that one look like mommy, that one look like daddy. No, mitosis, right, which is a process of cell division, would produce two identical copies of that mother cell. So you're going to have two daughter cells, but these two daughter cells are going to be identical to the mother cell, because even the genes, the DNA, the chromosomes would have been replicated first, and then you have the two separate nucleuses, right, having the identical genetic information. So when one mother cell actually divides, it reproduces its exact self two times. So you have one cell becomes two cells, and two cells become four cells, and four cells become 8 cells, and 8 cells become 16 cells. So we understand that also that every cell goes through a natural process of cell death called apoptosis. But because there is that constant division of cell, it actually balances out the process. So as I do this and cells actually fall off, I have a natural process of replenishing, right? So it's not like as if you're going to wipe off all of your skin cells, or you're going to wipe off all your, no, there is a natural process of cell division called mitosis that actually replicates the mother cell by dividing it into two identical cells called daughter cells. This is very, very, very important that we understand that. Okay? So then now, when it is that your cell dies, it actually implodes, and the cell is actually consumed back by the physical structure. It's like you are eating yourself. So every time your cell reaches that age where it's supposed to actually automatically be programmed to die, it dies. But that's not the end of it, because you have that cell has been dividing. So you always have younger cells. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay, all right. So then now, we're saying that when the process of natural apoptosis, cell death, is interrupted via mutation or via exposure to specific environmental intoxicants, you have what you refer to as a tumor, because that cell, wherever it is, will keep on dividing. So the area becomes bigger and bigger. And being that, when it is that you have one mutation in one cell, right, You have this mutation in a cell whereby that cell now has forgotten how to die. What would happen with that one cell? If that one cell has forgotten how to die, what do you think? Why is it that you believe that you'd have the formation of a tumor? You have to comment on Instagram or on YouTube, or you just call our number 17584522693 and give us an answer to that question. Yes, we are waiting for an answer to that question. I'm not just going to be talking here alone. I could even just say, well, I'm going to, well, no one is interested in what we're talking about. So I could just go home now. Because, okay, no one is interested. Okay, all right? So we're saying then what has happened? If it is that one cell has forgotten to die, what happened? Don't just tell me that the tumor will keep going. What? Explain to me. I just gave you, we're in science class. It's not like as if you're by the roadside talking, man. You're in science class. Not just there talking and thinking. You just tell me the tumor will keep going. Where the tumor going to the town, to the city, to the village, to home, to go shopping, right? Remember we had a conversation. The brother said, but you could cut out the tumor. If you could have cut out all tumors, then that means that you wouldn't have nobody would be dying from cancer. Okay? So we're saying that if that one cell, okay, I got a decent answer from DM White 41. It will multiple. It doesn't multiple. Remember what we said, that how cells does replicate themselves. Don't tell me it will multiple. Give me the proper term that what would happen. It will not rupture. You wrong? No. It will not rupture. Come on, you're supposed to be paying attention. No wonder you're not paying attention, because you're not paying to watch the Instagram. So you're not paying attention. You're supposed to be paying attention. We said that cells go to, okay, let me see this one, producing the more mutated cell. All right. Okay, so we said, okay, all right, you close now, 9020, right? It will produce the mutated cell. How? Okay, yes, now Sketch Bashman has the thing, man. It will replicate itself. That's it. It will replicate itself. Through what process? What is the process called? Okay, yes, okay, not my diamond has it perfectly. It will grow exponentially. Right? Yes, it will grow exponentially. What does that mean that? It means that's a perfect answer. Okay? Mitosis, that's the process. Okay, so when it is that, okay, let's say, well, the cells of this person's skin was exposed to some kind of radiation. But, so that cell now has mutated. This one cell has mutated. Right? That one cell has mutated to the extent that that one cell is not dying. So that one cell is just divided. It's just there. It's not dying. But because that one cell has that mutation that prevents it from dying, right? And that cell there has the capacity to replicate itself, double itself through the process of mitosis. So that one cell is going to divide. That one cancer cell is going to divide and become two cancer cells. Now I'm going to ask you a question to see whether or not you've been paying attention, even if you're watching this thing there for free. All right, so will the two cells, that cancer cell, that mutated cell that does not die, right, goes through the process of mitosis. It divides. It doesn't multiply, divides into two daughter cells. Now, question. Will these two daughter cells be identical, or won't they be identical? And what would that mean? So your answer is, are the two cells identical, yes or no? And what would happen? Go ahead. I'm gonna read whatever you say in here because our St. Lucian callers seems like they went to rest early tonight. Oh, I mean, come on, you're not following. You have our people on Instagram there, giving all the answers. They're not one of you calling and saying the thing. Yeah, all right. So what will happen? Talk to me. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be the one just talking, and you're not following. You have to be following. You have to understand. When the process of mitosis has taken place, and this one cancer cell, this one mutated cell, right, has actually replicated, what happens? Nani 20 is saying they will be identical to the mother cell. They will divide themselves through mitosis. Perfect. Yes, perfect. Now, the fact that they will be identical cells, that's where everything lies in. The fact that this one mutated cell that has forgotten how to die is going to divide and replicate itself. That means that the two daughter cells are also going to forget how to die. So then, from one cancer cell or one cell, right, that has forgotten how to die, it's going to become two cells that have forgotten how to die. Now remember, a cell is microscopic, meaning that you need a microscope to actually see that cell. So when you have one cell that has been mutated, can you feel that cell on your skin, or can you feel it on your cheek, or can you feel it anywhere? Tell me. Can you feel one cell that has mutated and has become a cancer? Can you feel that? I'm asking a question. No, you can't feel it because it's so small, it's tiny. You cannot feel one cell, nor 4, nor 500 cells. You still won't feel 500 cells because the size of it won't be big enough for you to be able to palpate, touch. So one cancer cell that has forgotten how to die has divided, and you have two cancer cells that have forgotten how to die. And these two now going to divide into 4. And it's not like naturally, you have the natural process of apoptosis that these cells there who die after a period of time, they won't die. So you have that exponential growth in that cell because they're just not dying. So after a period of time, these cells there are going to divide enough that you are able to feel what you would call a lump or a tumor. So that is what you call a tumor. A tumor is a mass that actually grows uncontrollably. Now, that tumor can be benign, meaning that these cells can have that mutation and they'll just grow, but they're not invasive. They cannot move from where they are to go to someplace else. They won't move from your head and then give you lung cancer or give you make the cells of your liver become cancerous. No, they're benign. They are isolated. They will stay in that space and they will just grow. So it's a benign tumor, like a fibroid. A fibroid is what we refer to as a leiomyoma, a tumor of the uterus found in the muscles of the uterus. Myoma, a tumor in the muscles. Myoma, leiomyoma. This tumor called the fibroid, it's a tumor. It's a mass of cells growing uncontrollably, yet still it is non-invasive. It's capsulated. It's isolated to a particular position. So it would not move from your womb to your ovaries or go to your liver or go through your bones and nothing like that. So they refer to it as what you call a benign tumor. Alright? Then you have what you refer to as a malignant tumor. That means that these cells who have forgotten how to die, right? They are dividing themselves, and their children, their daughters, also have forgotten how to die. So you're going to have exponential growth. But instead of being isolated in one spot where they cannot move, these tumors now are invasive. They can move from the kidney and go to the liver. They can move from the lungs and go to this area. Why? Because they are what you call a malignant tumor. That's the tumor that's deadly, because it moves. It can spread. Right? So when you understand that, then you begin to understand exactly what is it we're talking about when we're talking about cancer. We are talking about a healthy cell. For some reason, got exposed to some bad food, some stress, some trauma, or whatever it is, right? They forgot how to die. And now your immune system, as soon as they forget how to die, your T lymphocytes, right? Your immune system is supposed to recognize them and destroy them immediately. But what? Because the immune system is not strong enough, these cells there are able to survive and grow. Because your immune system is supposed to say, no man, you're not good there, man. You destroy them. But no, these cells there begin to grow and flourish because what? Of a compromised immune system. So cancer is very, 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 very straightforward, meaning that, well, look, what are the things that can actually cause your cells to mutate? A lot of the substances that we have in your foods, and a lot of the substances that you have in your toothbrushes, in the bottle you drink your water from, and all these different things, a lot of these things, they are what you refer to as carcinogenic substances. A carcinogen is a substance that can cause your cell to go through a mutation and give you cancer. So many, even like, many products nowadays, they say it is paraben free, right? So they say paraben free. They say, well, that makeup is paraben free. This is paraben free. So that means that there are some makeups that actually have parabens. So if some are paraben free, then you have some that also have parabens. Meaning that a paraben is what you call a xenoestrogen, right? A xenoestrogen. And oncogene are genes that are within your genetic makeup that actually gives you an increased likelihood to get a cancer, but everybody have it. But the thing about it is that it's about manifestation of that gene. So not everyone has creates the environment that it manifests to actually create that cancer. Right? So it is for us now to have full understanding and say, well, look, okay, right, the cancer cells multiply and whatever, one day they replicate themselves, and it's malignant because it can move from one point to another, right? But yet still we don't understand, right, that, okay, yes, what are the things that the carcinogens, like the parabens, that acts like an estrogen, right, and stimulate estrogen like responses from your physical structure, so make your breast grow, or or make your blood flow or whatever it is, right? That's a lot of these chemicals outside there in your foods. You could just read it. Just read it, man. Just plenty of these things, they are carcinogenic, meaning that they actually cause mutations in your cells. Right? So carcinogens are substances that actually cause your cells to mutate and create cancer cells. And then you also have what you call stress, right? Which is actually one of the key things that deplenishes the immune system and allow cancer cells to actually proliferate. So this is why we have so many cancers these days within our society. Yet still, none of our people really understand exactly what cancer is, how it is, how they can get it, how to protect themselves, how to eat, So at the end of the day, tonight is the program where you have that opportunity to ask your questions. So the lines are open and we have about 24 minutes. Recently, many plastic utensils in restaurants were banned. Yeah, because a lot of them contain what you call bisphenol A, BPA, and BPA is a xenoestrogen. It increases the risk of developing breast cancer. And they saw that same BPA in plastic. I mean, you feed in your baby, your newborn baby, in a plastic baby bottle and a rubber that contains BPA. Come on. So ask your questions. 452-2693, 1758-452-2693. Ask your questions and you will handle it. We are waiting for your calls or your comments on Instagram. Yes, I'm just gonna sit there and wait. Whenever you are ready, I'm not going to just pretend like I'm the only man that actually is talking. I'm gonna drink some Icon. It's what they call ugly face medicine. After you take a sip, you have to make your face ugly. Cancer is not a death sentence. If you overstand it, then you know how to deal with it. Well, I mean, the proper way of getting rid of the tumor is by boosting up your immune system, because naturally, your immune system is supposed to have been able to identify that tumor and destroy it. Right? How is the tap water in UK, Scotland contaminated compared to spring water in plastic bottles? The spring water in plastic bottles plus the contaminated water is, both of these things, they are awful. Because a lot of the contaminants are heavy metals that are carcinogenic. So both of these things, they are terrible, right, in their own rights. Okay, so what about drinking water from plastic bottles? Not that there is a very dangerous thing. Okay? You're welcome. There is a way to stop mutations. So at the end of the day, there are many different herbs and because the first thing is just immune system. Right? Because remember, your immune system is supposed to have been able to identify the tumors, right, as foreign bodies, because they are not natural, they are mutated and they are growing inside of the physical structure. So your immune system strengthening is key, right? Key. So happiness is very important. The first step towards getting rid of cancer is happiness. Yes, ganja is an anti-cancer agent. It contains that property. It's an antiviral. Research have just shown that ganja can be used to prevent SARS-CoV-2 virus from entering into cells to give people COVID-19. So, yeah. Yes, questions? No calls? Come on. So we say the answer to cancer, number one, is happiness. You have to definitely be happy. Right? Number two, you have to eat well. Avoid all animal products and byproducts, anything with teeth, anything with eyes, anything with blood. Right? And then, you have to consciously make that decision to survive. Like somebody's going to have to come and cheer you. It have to be something that comes from within, and you have to demonstrate full commitment because miracles do happen. I don't believe in magic, but I do believe in miracles. Questions? Questions. No question? All right. It doesn't seem like no one has any questions for us. So probably we should just cut off the program 40. We have 9:40. We have 20 minutes. Well, radiation from Bluetooth and all them things they are bad, all them cell phone thing and all these different things and Wi-Fi, all them different things there. EMF, all these different things they are bad. It is for us then to boost up our immune system and to at least limit things to the best of your capacity. That's why you have to most times just come out of the space and go into a more secluded place. Well, prostate cancer has a certain level of genetics because most people eat the same thing for years. So you have the same bad foods, the same bad habits passed on from generation to generation. Okay? Recently started getting dizziness and lightheaded at random times. No real symptoms of anything else. What can this be, or what can... Probably anemia, low iron levels, boost up your iron. So what we do then is that we boost up the immune system. So the herbs that you have to look at is the same immune system herbs that we've been talking all the time. Right? Like your guinea hen weed, like your cannabis or your ganja. Right? You're talking also about like your vervine, your stinging nettle, add your minerals to your physical structure. Yes, caller, blessed. Yes? Caller is gone? Can't hear nothing. Blessed? Okay, all right, caller's gone. Okay. It's okay, caller. What's the best herbs to boost your immune system? Okay, all right. So what you're looking at herbs to boost up your immune system, like soursop leaf, soursop root, soursop bark. You're looking at your stinging nettle, you got your Spanish needle. The Spanish needle Bidens pilosa is one of the only herbs that helps to build back up the mucus lining. Very important, right? So you're talking about herbs like vervine, herbs like elderberry, herbs like cylinder leaf, all types of herb. The tea mandate, yes. Yes, caller, blessed. Yes, caller, go ahead. I'm not hearing anything from the caller. Probably a lot. Okay, all right. I think that there is a problem with the lines. Honorable, give thanks. Any recommendation for people who have come out the other side in remission post chemotherapy? Yes, of course. Eat well, live well, enjoy yourself, be happy. Happiness is the first thing, man. Eat well, live well, be happy. Positivity is the key. Always being happy, ensuring that whatever it is that you are doing is the best thing that you're supposed to be doing. Right here? Okay. Right, so at the end of the day, when it comes to night, it is very important that we understand that. Okay. Yes. Yes, go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead. Well, you first and foremost, you find out what actually feeds the tumor. So some people, let's say if it's breast cancer, then you have two types of breast cancer. You have, not two types, you have more than two types, but you have ductal carcinoma, which is the ducts of the glands, and also you have glandular, which is like cancer of the glands of the breast. So like the ducts would be progesterone, the glands would be estrogen. So if it is like it's glandular carcinomas and it's estrogen, so you have to start to eliminate what you call any foods that actually rise up the estrogen levels in your physical structure. Also, like from the plastics, the makeups, any different things that you could stress, anything that you think that chicken, milk, anything that actually helps to boost up your estrogen levels, you actually abstain from that. Then you begin to incorporate things that boost up your immune system and naturally reduces the estrogen levels. And basically, if you cut off the foods to the cancer, because the thing about cancer is that cancer is sugar loving. Cancer just loves sugar. Cancer loves sugar so much. To find out where cancer is in the physical structure,